Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for watching. Solid Sports Video Blog, episode 269. Today's date is August 22nd, 2024. Thank you for joining me. I'm Troy West. You're watching the Solid Sports and Gaming channel where we do live sports blogs and also video game playthroughs. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for the support. As always, you guys have been great. We don't got much of a show today. It should be a quick show. We're just going to touch on some MLB news, look at the NBA schedule a little bit, and look at the latest NFL news. We'll look at college football as well. Let me see something here. I want to check something with the stream, and then I'll be ready to get started. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm going to say sorry to my bro B in advance, man. I said I would probably try to get on here a little earlier, but it's just easier for me to do them in the afternoon. He's overseas, so it's already almost nighttime there. So let me see. I want to see my channel. Okay, I just want to see something real quick. I wonder if I can go back. Yeah, so I guess it don't do what I thought it was going to do. Okay. Alright, so we're going to get the show started. I appreciate you guys so much. Let me pull up my information and then we'll get started. I appreciate you guys, man. We had 305 subscribers. Of course, the goal is 500. That's the first episode, of course, on YouTube to get monetized. So hopefully I'll reach that. I'm going to try to do at least one weekly sports stream every week. Now that the NFL season starting, we're going to start doing a lot of things on the community wall and things of that nature. So stay tuned for that. I appreciate you guys so much for hanging in there. Like I said, a lot of things been going on, but I appreciate you guys sticking with me and liking the content. Of course, y'all enjoy my shorts. I've been doing a lot of retro shorts with my Nintendo Switch, old Mario games, and things of that nature. I probably put up one today as well. So y'all stay tuned for that. I appreciate you guys so much for watching and subscribing and giving y'all honest opinions. I appreciate it. Shout out to TB Cutie. Go follow her channel. She's very successful as well. She's been reaching out to me lately. So go follow her channel. She do a lot of video game playthroughs. So just check her out. I'll probably put something in this video to shout her out as well. So, but that's where I get started. Major League Baseball, of course, as they call it, dog days of summer, as August almost over, so it's now a push towards the playoffs. So days about to get started getting really, really interesting in both the American and National Leagues. We're going to look at the standings, where teams sit right now. We'll start the American League. The American League East, of course, the toughest division in the majors for sure. Yankees, the Orioles, in a virtual tie, basically a tie, but the Yankees have one less loss, so the Orioles are a half a game out. Yankees have been playing very good baseball, at least better than the Orioles, at least right now. Orioles started pitching, probably because of the injuries and things of that nature. It's really been a hindrance. I think they lost 2 or 3 to the Mets, so they come into this series with the Astros, which starts tonight. I think it's a 4-game series with Houston. The Astros has been hot. We're going to talk about them in a second. So this is a big, big series for the O's. Yankees, I don't know who they play this weekend, but we'll see. Third place in the division, the Boston Red Sox, of course, a bounce back year from last year. They 6.5 out though, so they're not completely out of it yet. Tampa is 9.5. I don't know how the Rays keep being relevant. as they always turning over their roster a lot. And the Toronto Blue Jays, it's hard to call them disappointing because the division that they in, but I don't know. I just thought they would be a little bit better this year. But you're in a tough division, so can't be too hard on the Blue Jays. This division is stacked from top to bottom, as far as in baseball terms, anyway. The Central is kind of tight now. Cleveland got Minnesota and Kansas City 2.5 back. The Guardians just continue to stay steady. I thought the Twins would win this division. They still could. Of course, it ain't over yet. Kansas City been more of a surprise. I mean, I thought they would be better this year, but not contending for the division. So they took a step forward. Detroit Tigers, yeah, they under 500, but they still had a pretty relevant, a respectable season so far, 62 and 65. And the White Sox just, they're a mess right now. They need to, uh, well, I don't want to say clean house because they kind of did, but they need to definitely reevaluate their next season. Only 31 wins so far. They 3 losses away from already losing 100 games. It's not even September yet, and they might most likely get there for sure before September comes around. We talked about the Houston Astros. They have 5 games now ahead of the Seattle Mariners, who's now 500. Texas Rangers is 10 under, but they're 10 games back. Oakland and LA Angels. Actually, the LA Angels is virtually in last place. Of course, the Angels, I think, I know they got rid of Tony. Well, I won't say rid of him like they wanted to, but they traded a Tony. Or was he a free agent? I think he was a free agent. Now I think about it, I don't think he was traded to the Dodgers. I think he was a free agent. So, but I think Mike Trout, I think they got to go ahead and flip him and just get young and get prospects. I think it's time. It's probably been time, but I think it's definitely time for that. The Texas Rangers, like I said about them before. Like I didn't think last year. I won't say a fluke, but I just didn't think it'd be like sustainable that they was gonna always be in contention every year. I think, well, they had a lot of injuries as well to the pitching staff, but also I just think how they ended last year. Maybe be more what they really were, but then they got hot in the playoffs, and that happens in baseball sometimes. But the Astros is clearly the best team in this division, and they showing it again. They got healthy. They started off with injuries, and they turned it around. Seattle just can never hold up to the regular season. They play well early, but fade out late, and it look like it's happening again. So, look like Houston's going to win this division once again. Go to the National League. The Philadelphia Phillies still holding on, still 7 games in front of my Atlanta Braves. Of course, y'all know I'm a Braves fan. I bring it up every time I get a chance. We start to get a little bit better, but the Mets, shout out to the New York Mets. They turned their season around, and they are right there, at least for a wild card. But I think Philly going to hold on and probably win this division. But they, really since right before the All-Star break, they pretty much been struggling a little bit with the injuries they've been suffering as well. But I think they just a little bit better, and I think they're going to hold on to win that division. And the Central is going to be the Brewers, starting to lose faith in the Cardinals. The Cincinnati Reds, we're going to talk a little bit about them in a second. Chicago Cubs, all of them is pretty much virtually tied. And then you got the Pittsburgh Pirates, who, they start off really, really well, give you a little bit of hope, and then they fade right after the All-Star break. So that's what happened to them this year. In the West is the Dodgers, even though the Dodgers get a lot of criticism, maybe because, you expect them, people probably expected them to win like multiple World Series by now, but it just haven't happened for them yet. But this year, I think they sort of under the radar. So I think in the playoffs, I think they'd be more loose. So I think that's what gets them. I think the pressure gets to them. But I think this year, I think even though they go off the field, Mookie Betts been gone most of the year, he's back. The Freddie Freeman, of course, I know him as a Braves fan. The thing he dealt with his son, I think he's locked in and ready to go. Tony's still doing his thing. The pitcher got to get a little bit better, but I think the Dodgers is definitely a contender to win the whole thing. But these are two teams up next that we got to keep an eye on. The Arizona Diamondbacks, of course, they was representative of the National League last year, and I thought just like the Rangers, I was like, well, yeah, they got there, but they've shown, that they're really a contender here. It says so. It's the San Diego Padres, so we'll see those two teams. I'm definitely going to watch from this point on. The Giants, respectable, but pretty much out of it for the division, but probably still have a chance at a wild card, even though if you look at the other teams, they're still out of it. But they right there that can make them have a chance. And the Colorado Rockies are the Colorado Rockies. Shout out to my buddy, Good Thoughts. If you out there, bro, I ain't heard from you in a while, but I remember we used to maybe think about a video I did when I was playing MLB The Show. Probably was 22 or 21. I did a special video for him for being a loyal subscriber. He wanted to see the Colorado Rockies against the National League. Was it the National League All Stars? And the Rockies actually won that game. They actually beat me. So shout out to you, bro. It just made me think about you. But they're the current standings. But let's go and look at the wild card part of it as well. So our three division leaders right now in the American League is the Yankees, the Guardians, and the Astros. So, of course, they're not on this. So, the Orioles is number one. It's three wild card teams with a plus 2.5. Then you got Minnesota, Kansas City, which got the same record. They're the two other wild cards. Boston 3.5 at. Tampa 6.5. Seattle 7.5. Detroit 9. And then everybody else is more than 10. So, I won't mention those teams. And then the National League, the division leaders are Philadelphia Phillies. The Central is the Milwaukee Brewers and the LA Dodgers. So your wild cards right now is Arizona and San Diego, which is 4+. My Braves got that last wild card spot for now, but the Mets are right there, 1.5. San Francisco, I said 3.5 back. St. Louis 5 even. Cincinnati 5.5. So are the Cubs. They got Pittsburgh at 8. Then everybody else, which is it's only three more teams: Washington, Colorado, and Miami. Is plus 12. But if Washington is 10.5, then it's a big gap. Colorado's 20.5, and then Miami is 21.5. They got the worst record in the National League. Only team that's officially eliminated from playoff contention is the Chicago White Sox, which is not a surprise. Only winning 31 games by this point. You're pretty much out of it. So. But we got usually, the standings usually be all out MLB news, but this week we got some stuff off the field that I wanted to touch on. First, Aaron Judge, what kind of year he's having, so we could talk about him for the rest of this show. Definitely a bounce back year for him. And I said last year was bad, but he had some struggles, but he's been dominant this year. 46 home runs. Leading the league and also RBIs, and I think average he's close to number one in that in the American League. So what do you have it? But this is more about. I read an article about a little league coach from Staten Island, of course, which is New York. Pretty much accused Aaron Judge for being dismissive to the kids. That played for the Staten Island Little League World Series team. I don't know if they eliminated now, because I know this is the semifinals today and tomorrow. So I don't know if they already been eliminated, but the Yankees, they came out and basically defended Judge, saying it was taken out of context. I think it sounded like, when I read the article, it sounded like it was during a game. They have the Little League special there when they played the Tigers. I think it was last week. So that's why I don't even know if they still alive for the World Series, for the Little League World Series title. But anyway, my point about this story is you could go look it up. Like I said, celebrities are people too. I don't even now that I gotten older, and even before I got older, but you know, entertainers. I'm not even going to use the word celebrity. Entertainers are people too. They people just like me and you. And I always thought that. Yes, there's certain entertainers that I like more than others. Like my favorite athlete was Jerry Rice. I don't know how I'd react if I ever got to meet Jerry Rice. It'd be an honor, but I wouldn't. It's just certain lines I would cross because I know that they're human just like us. Like they have families just like us. They have feelings and problems. You know, they just make a little bit more money and they're a little bit more talented as far as what they do than us. But they still human just like we are. So I try to give that respect. Um, Even when I talk, you know, I try to be respectful to everyone, celebrity or not, or if you want to use that word. But the coach, you know, he pretty much said Aaron Judge, you know, dismissed this team, and the kids was disappointed, which I understand. They kids, they don't understand. But I don't think he they really ignored them. Um, and the Yankees pretty much defended that. Said Aaron Judge is one of the nicest guys, and he's always in the community doing, you know, talking to kids. Um, and I think part of the article was said that some of the Yankees players went and visit that Staten Island team personally, but Aaron Judge was one of them. And Aaron Judge, of course, which is not surprisingly, is probably their favorite player playing coming from Staten Island, playing in New York. Um, but I think even if that's part true, and he didn't go to like you know you just gotta. I figure if he didn't go, he probably had a bigger obligation. I'm just gonna imagine, you know, or somewhere else to go, or maybe he had to take his family somewhere. You know, you just never know. So have to stop. People need to stop doing that. Um, I get the coach maybe try to take up for his team. You know, the kids probably was disappointed, but at the same time, you gotta understand life. Like, if you got something to do, you got something to do. Maybe he had something to do and he couldn't go to the little private meeting. And then I think when they tried to, you know, during the game, they tried to yell at him, get his attention. And the coach said, well, he could have waved and all that. He probably was, you know, I didn't see the game and I don't know, like, was he on first base? Was he, you know, maybe in the outfield, playing outfield? You got to be focused. You can't, you know, yeah, it wouldn't have took nothing for him to wave, but, you know, I just think they took it out of proportion for it even to make the news. It's out of proportion to me. That's basically my point. So good luck to Aaron Judge. Other than going against the Orioles, I'm an Orioles fan too. You know, people get on me about that, but you know, I'm an Orioles fan. I'm born and raised in Baltimore, so I love the Orioles too. But Braves would be forever um, the team that I root for. But I just thought that article was, you know, took it out of proportion. Um, but good luck to them. Good luck to that team if they're still alive. I don't know if they've been eliminated or not. I didn't do the research on that, but cause this happened last week, so. Um, but yeah, so you know, I hope the kids did well. I hope, but they get over it. It's not, you know what I mean. You know, or they might get other opportunities again. You know, like some of these kids wind up playing baseball, and you might get to play against them. You just never know. That's how things go. So you'll see them again, or you might see them again next year. I don't know. Probably be different teams for the Little League Classic next year, obviously. But you know, just think it was blown out of proportion. One more quick note for the MLB: Joey Votto officially retired yesterday. Longtime Cincinnati Red, had a great career, six-time All Star, third baseman. He retired yesterday. He was playing in the minors this season. 40 years old, make me feel like I'm old. I'm 40. Like I just heard him say, well, I already knew Aaron Rodgers 40, but I'm the same age as Aaron Rodgers. So, um, Votto was fun to watch. It was fun to watch. The Reds didn't make the playoffs often, but he was a fun player to watch. So, congratulations to him. Speaking of the current Reds, the Cruz stole his 60th base last night with 20 home runs. He's the first shortstop to do that. The Reds is a fun team to watch. I think if they ever get Add a little bit more pieces and get that pitcher staff together. The Reds can start competing at that. So I think the Central's wide open. Even though Milwaukee seem like they always just wind up winning it every year. But I think the Brewers are not. They're good, but they're not unbeatable. So I think that's why I thought St. Louis would turn it around this year as far as the division, but I don't think they're going to. I think they're going to either be a wild card or be out of the playoffs altogether. Um, congratulations to him. Hopefully, he have a good rest of his career in his life. He was a good player. So that was news I wanted to touch on as well. All right, so that's our baseball portion of the show. We in 21 minutes, so I guess I'm wrong. I guess it's going to be a longer show than I thought it was going to be. NBA is kind of quiet. Ain't nothing going on. Of course, the Olympics is over. The U.S. men won. The U.S. women won. No surprise either side. Even though the women had a little bit of a tougher time, but they won too. Just with the touch on, the NBA schedule, it came out. Was it last week? In the last week, I believe. Opening night, I see here is the Knicks and the Celtics. There's a doubleheader on TNT because it's TNT last year covering the NBA last season, covering the NBA. Timberwolves and Lakers is the night game. I think the Timberwolves going to get pumped up more because of Anthony Edwards. So, they're going to get a lot of TV games. Lakers are always going to, especially until LeBron. Even after LeBron, the Lakers are just always going to be relevant. Celtics, of course, did defend the champions, so you're not surprised by them playing on opening night. Of course, I already brought up the in-season tournament. That's where Klay Thompson go back to Golden State to start that off. Of course, it's a group play first, and then it's single elimination, like a tournament. So, but let's go to Christmas. Christmas is always a big day in the NBA, even though now the NFL is starting to put games on Christmas now as well. So, but 5 games, of course. Spurs at Knicks at noon. That should be a fun game. Wemby. The Spurs is a team I want to see some type of improvement from this year. But we'll see about that. T-Wolves again against the Mavs. That's, of course, a rematch of the Western Conference Finals. Sixers, Celtics, of course, ABC at 5. Of course, the Sixers get Paul George, so the Sixers is a hot buzz team now. These probably the 2 best teams in the East going at it over Christmas. Lakers at Warriors, that's a night game. And at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And then you got Nuggets at Suns, nightcap at 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Suns, I think, is a lot of. I think it's a make or break year. I think if they don't achieve anything, I think the Suns might break that up. Nuggets, hopefully they healthy. We'll see if Jokic and the Nuggets. I mean, you just can't never count the Nuggets out. They're just a tough team. So we'll see how their season goes. Let's see. Now I'm trying to. All right, when does All-Star break? Let me see. Usually in February. Yeah, so I think the All-Star game is February 16th. Yes, so that's when the All-Star game is. Where is it at this year? Is it in? I probably have to look that up. But, so February 13th, that'll be the end of the first half of the year. But yeah, I mean, to me, the NBA season is so long. It's not like the NFL. We could kind of go through it real quick. Of course, everybody play everybody at least twice, So, um, but I think opening night, that's a good match. That's some good games. Christmas Day is some good games. That's the 2 days at least before the All-Star break. Then after the All-Star break, that's when things start to get real because you buy for playoff position and things of that nature. Um, but it should be a good NBA season this year. It's right around the corner. Training camps in about a month from now. Because the season starts October. Let me see. Oh, sorry. Get back into this. October 22nd, Tuesday, October 22nd. So, yeah, training camp would probably be about a month from now, a little over a month. So, yeah, so we'll see. But right now, with everything that's happened with the off season, not a lot of big moves other than the Paul George trade to Philadelphia. Not a lot of and Clay going to Dallas. Not a lot of huge moves. I just think teams gonna get better, like the younger teams like OKC and Minnesota and Sacramento. Those are type teams that just gonna get better um, without really adding much. Houston, I think you got to look out for as well. In the West, the Pelicans. You see that picture of Zion. Look like he lost a lot of weight. But my skepticism of that is like, is he gonna still be himself all the way? Like, is he gonna lose anything? Because if he don't, um, that's gonna be great. Memphis will be better just because they got Ja back. Like I said, the Spurs. Only teams. I would say Utah too. Utah, they not bad. They pesky. The Blazers, I pretty much, I don't want to say eliminate, but the Blazers just don't have enough. In the West, everybody else, you can argue. Even Utah a little bit. I would probably say Utah and Portland. But everybody else, they got something to bring to the table. In the East, like I said, it's really just Boston, Philly, Milwaukee. I'm gonna throw the Knicks in there. Everybody else is after that, you gotta everybody else like Orlando with Indiana. Even though Indiana surprised me last year, Orlando did too to an extent. Oh, you gotta throw the Heat in there as well. The Heat, but they just play around in the regular season, put themselves in bad position, make it harder for them in the playoffs, even though they have done it. Got to the finals as a 7th seed, 8th seed, or whatever. But I think they need to establish something in the regular season. I think that should be their goal this year. But we'll see. We got 2 months, and NBA season will be right back again. Actually, 2 months from the day, because the day is 22nd, right? So, yep, exactly 2 months from the day, the NBA season starts. So, yep. But that's a perfect segue because exactly 2 weeks from today, NFL season starts. Regular season, week 1. Kansas City Chiefs hosted the Baltimore Ravens. Chiefs going for their 3rd straight Super Bowl title. Of course, never been done before in the NFL. Ravens, of course, trying to get that bad taste out their mouth. But I think this is a good game for them to start. Get the Chiefs out the way. Maybe you'll see them again down the line. But I think, as far as character standpoint, building something to start the season with, I think this is a good game to start with. But we're still 2 weeks away, so that means our season preview show is still 2 weeks away. We'll talk a little bit about that in a second. But I want to focus on a couple of rookie starters who've been named for their respective teams. Far as you'll start the AFC, Bo Nix was officially named the starter for the Denver Broncos, which I think nobody's really that surprised with Zach Wilson and the quarterback room. Nix looked at well in his time he's played in the preseason, so I'm not surprised. I think the Broncos will be an interesting team to watch. I still think they're gonna struggle overall because they schedule. They got the Chiefs in their division, just things of that nature. But I could see them hovering around 500, maybe. Maybe outside chance of wild card spot. But we'll talk more about that in the coming weeks. Um, but he was named the starter, so that wasn't a surprise. Um, and in the NFC, of course, the Washington Commanders named Jalen Daniels they starter officially as well. He's looked decent in the preseason as well. Um, I think the Commanders got their quarterback. They just gotta protect him. Um, still build on defense. Of course, they cleaning up the inside of the organization. You know, the other side of now is gone. So all that drama that was going on hopefully went out the door with him. So I like the Commanders. Commanders will be another team to interestingly just keep an eye on. Of course, Caleb Williams of the Bears is going to definitely be the starter. And I admit he looks better than I thought he would look. Even though it's still preseason, but he looks comfortable. He looks like he got a rapport with his defense. The Bears did him right. The Bears did him right, especially more than Justin Fields. Speaking of that, that Pittsburgh quarterback situation is getting a little interesting now. Um, we'll see if Russell Wilson will be the starter. I still think it's going to be Russ, but it's starting to be a lot of rumbles that Russ going to have a short leash. I think he had to start off well. If he don't, I think he might get benched. But Caleb Williams for the Bears look like the Bears did him right, get him the weapons he needs. The backfield is good as well. The offensive line is good, but he can move around. So Bears is a sneaky team to watch out for as well. And that's all. That's all. But only other spot I'm interested in watching is the Atlanta situation with Kirk Cousins and Michael Penix Jr. Because he's looked good in the preseason, so I think that puts more pressure on Kirk Cousins to play well. Because if he don't, I think the Atlanta fans going to call for Michael Penix. So, and of course, we know what happened with J.J. McCarthy, unfortunately, with the knee injury, so he's out for the season. But like I said, other young quarterbacks started. Of course, year 2 for Bryce Young. Jordan Love start some more for the Green Bay Packers. A lot of young quarterback. Brock Purdy, of course, a lot of pressure on him with the Niners. Kyler Murray, I think it's a big year for him starting. You know, Daniel Jones and Jalen Hurts, I think both of them is under a lot of pressure. We're going to talk more about that next week, probably who's under the most pressure. I think the Eagles as well as a team just under a lot of pressure. I think they need to start off well like they always been and don't fade off. I think Justin Herbert got a little bit of pressure on him to me. I think Trevor Lawrence. Yeah, so we'll see. It's gonna be a great season. I can't wait to the preview show. Of course, 2 weeks from now, either we'll be on a Wednesday or Thursday. It might be the Thursday is the game, but it'll be that afternoon or Wednesday. We'll do our preview show, just all NFL, all my predictions and everything. So got 2 weeks to get prepared for that. So I can't wait for that. Go the division winners who I think will make the playoffs, MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, Rookie of the Year, all everything. So we'll do all that in 2 weeks. All right, so just some final thoughts. Let's take a look at the college football schedule. College football start this weekend. Of course, it's a whole new ball game. There's no Pac-12, so a bunch of divisions got thousands of teams in it. I still don't even know all the realignments. But I'm going to look at the top 25 schedule real quick. Of course, Saturday, Florida State at Georgia Tech, high noon. But I think it's other games this Saturday as well. The next Thursday, NC State hosts to Western Carolina. They 24th in the country. Murray hosts Murray State. Missouri is 11th. Kansas against Lindenwood. Utah, Southern Utah. Oklahoma against Temple. Miami against Florida. That's a big rivalry game. Miami ranked 19th. Florida's not ranked. Number one Georgia hosted Clemson. That's an interesting game. We'll see how that goes. That's next Saturday, the 31st. So now we into next week. Penn State hosted West Virginia. Iowa, Illinois State, Tennessee, Chattanooga, Oklahoma State. Number two, Ohio State, Akron, Texas, Colorado State, Alabama, Western Kentucky. So a lot of these is cupcake games. Ole Miss and Foreman, Kansas State, UT Martin. Oregon is ranked third against Ohio. Michigan ninth against Fresno State. This is a big game. Notre Dame at Texas A&M. Notre Dame is ranked 7th. Texas A&M ranked 20th. Arizona hosted New Mexico. Arizona ranked 24th. Sunday, September 1st, USC at LSU. 13 against 23. Then Monday, September 2nd, Boston College as Florida State plays again by then. So that's the first couple of top 25 games. Let's look at the rankings real quick. So I did see number. Oh yeah, Ohio State's number 2. So where's Washington? Washington's not ranked. Nope. Washington, after being a national champion, I guess losing Michael Penix and others. Yep, so they're not even in the top 25 anymore. But this is the AP poll. Of course, the college football poll don't start till beginning of October. So, yeah. But Georgia, Elvin Mullen, number 1 with 46 first place votes. So college football start this week. So get ready for that. Like I said, just some other final thoughts before we get on out of here. Like I said, I'm gonna keep doing my little shorts. The Nintendo Switch, Super Mario World. I'm gonna do some Mario 3 stuff today as well. So stay tuned for that. Like I said, next week we're doing another show. We'll go over the MLB standings again. If any NBA news, we'll touch on that. If not, of course, definitely had some NFL news. And then the following week, of course, our big preview show, which will be episode 271. So episode 270 is next week. I think it will be on Wednesday. So I think I work Thursday. So every day I'm off. I think I'm off Wednesday. I do it Wednesday. But I want to start doing at least once a week, get back to the blog. I want to do a Saturday. I want to do my Saturday shows again, once this NFL season starts. Doing NFL picks and things of that nature. I'm bringing the power rankings back, but I'm going to wait till my preview show to reveal that. So I got to do some power rankings. I got to do predictions. So I got a lot of work to do in the next 2 weeks for that show, but I can't wait for it. It's going to be a great NFL season. PlayStation. I want to get back into the PlayStation world. My goal is October, sometime in October. Like I said, I want to get a PS5 and get back into the PlayStation realm, doing video game playthroughs and things of that nature. That's why I say shout out to TB Cutie. She's always been supportive, saying she missed when I'm not streaming. But it just be so much going on behind the scenes. But now my work started to get a little steady. And then now I'm starting to get I'm established somewhere. So, should be able to do more videos. Shout out to my man B. I know he probably couldn't make this show. Probably was too late. I try to do the next week's show a little early. I just like to do it after 12 because I know I won't be interrupted at all. So that's why I decided to do it at 1 today. But other than that, man, thank you guys so much. Like I said, thank you for the support. We at 305. We're going to keep trying to get to 500. That's the goal before the end. I'm going to say the end of the year. I'm going to set the goal for the December 31st that hopefully we be at 500 subscribers, especially when we get the PlayStation back. Start doing some playthroughs with that. I can't wait for that, man. I miss it. I had to get me a TV too, though, but yeah. All that stuff I work out. Every day's gonna work out. I'll just hang in there like y'all been hanging in there. So we had a good show today. I appreciate you guys so much. Nobody came through really, but of course you could watch the playback. Appreciate you guys so much. You enjoy y'all week, guys. School is about to be back for a lot of kids. It's already back for some, so stay safe out there. If you're from an inner city like me, definitely be careful. Like I said, I had an incident, which I'm not going to touch on much, but just stay safe, man. You can't. Unfortunately, it's more bad people out here than good, and just be careful. Still try to help people, but just watch who you help, because even people that you help will turn on you and try to take from you and hurt you. So, um, stay safe. Gun violence at all time high as well. So, stay safe. Now, like I said, I'm not into politics, but definitely, I think you should go out and vote, no matter who you voted for. I used to be an anti-voter myself, but this year I think it's one of the most important times to vote for this president, whoever's going to be president. It's going to probably change a lot of things in the next 4 years. So this is an important election. So I would advise you to vote, but I'm not going to tell you who you should vote for. Whatever you feel in your heart that's going to do the right thing, that's what you vote for. But I think it's good to vote. So I'm going to try to do that this year as well. It'll be my first time voting on the primary election. So the general election. I'm sorry, I voted in the primary election in, was it April? I think it was. Um, so just a quick thoughts on that. That's all. But as far as getting into the deeper stuff, I don't, I have who I think I'm going to vote for, but it could change between now and November. So, but I keep that private as well. Uh, but thank you guys so much, man. Y'all enjoy the rest of y'all week. I'm Troy West. Said thank you for watching another episode of the Solid Sports Video Blog. If you love sports, definitely come here once a week. Usually Wednesday or Thursday. I usually try to put out something, for you guys to know. But I think next show is going to be Wednesday. And then I don't know about the big preview show, but we definitely doing that for sure. In 2 weeks for the NFL season. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you like the video, definitely hit the like button. Definitely leave your comments. I try to respond to all my comments. Look out on my community wall and my other video game playthroughs. I appreciate you guys so much. Troy West said thank you. Have a great week. And I'll see you guys next week. Peace and love always. Thank you.